Hey everybody, it's Josie. Welcome back to Cedar Creek Homestead. Well, this is Saturday and today we've got company coming and I've got some chores to do before they get here, and we want to spend time visiting and enjoying being with them. So I'm going to put a meal in the crock pot so that supper will be ready for tonight and we won't have to worry about that. And I thought I'd invite you guys to come along and see if this isn't something that you would like to add to your rotation. It's chicken and noodles. And it's a really simple and easy recipe. I'm going to be modifying it today. The recipe calls for all store-bought ingredients, but I'm going to be using ingredients, some store-bought ingredients, some ingredients that I home canned, and it's going to make life a little bit simpler and easier. So I'm going to I'm not going to turn the camera around. I'm just simply going to pan the camera down so that you guys can see what's all involved. Okay guys, this recipe calls for 4 boneless skinless chicken breast, and that's normally what I use, chicken breast, or sometimes I use boneless skinless thighs just because we like the taste of the chicken thigh. And a lot of times you can get the chicken thighs a whole lot cheaper than you can get chicken breast, and so I use those. But today, because we are having company, I'm going to use some of my home canned chicken, and this is a quart jar, and I'm just going to dump this can of chicken right into this crock pot here, slow cooker. This will save me some steps as far as my chicken's already cooked, so I'm not going to have as long a cooking time on this meal. This crock pot meal is an 8-hour meal, but because my chicken is already cooked, once everything gets hot and the soup and the butter are ready to go, then I'll be able to put the noodles in and continue on with the recipe. But what the recipe calls for is 4 boneless skinless chicken breast or chicken thighs. And put that in the bottom of your crock pot. Then you need 2 cans of cream of chicken soup. Now this can be store-bought. That's what I'm using today, is store-bought. But there are recipes for cream of soups that you can keep powdered and on your shelf. And we may be exploring that recipe in a future video, showing you how to make that so that you can keep it on your shelf, and how you can turn it into cream of chicken or cream of mushroom or whatever cream of soup that you need. But 2 cans, and you're just simply going to take that, pour it out on top of your chicken. Now, okay, next step guys is a stick of butter cut into cubes, and we're just going to lay that on top of the chicken and the cream of chicken soup. There's nothing scientific to it. It's all going to melt together, and you're going to stir it all up. Now the recipe calls for a 32-ounce can of chicken broth. So I'm going to add a can of home canned chicken broth right in there. Now I know that my chicken had broth in it as well, but this will all cook down and it will be delicious. Now this is what it looks like right now with all of the ingredients in it. Now keep in mind mine's a little bit juicier because I added that extra little bit of broth, but it's all going to cook together. At this point you have an option. I used home canned, so I'm not worried about having extra chicken flavor to mine, but if you use store-bought chicken broth, you may want to put some bouillon in here just to enhance your chicken flavor a little bit, maybe a teaspoon or so of chicken bouillon, and then salt and pepper to your taste. Now I won't salt this until towards the end and taste and see if I need to add some salt. I'm salt restricted, and I think Cheyenne is supposed to be as well. And then of course Blade and I prefer a lot of pepper with our chicken and noodles, so the salt and pepper is according to how much your family likes or dislikes. You can add more or leave it all out. Now all it's going to do at this point is cook. If you're using raw chicken, you need to cook it on low for 6 hours. But because my chicken is already cooked, all I have to do is wait for all of this to come up to temperature and get hot, the butter melted and the soup's melted, everything ready to go, and then I can do the next step, which is add noodles. You're going to add egg noodles, and you can either add frozen or just plain egg noodles to it. If you are going with the raw chicken, they say that it takes 2 hours, but in my experience with this recipe, it doesn't take 2 hours to cook the noodles. So the last 2-hour cooking time is just to get those noodles cooked. What you'll do at the end of your 6 hours, if you've used chicken breast or chicken thighs, either one, is you'll take your chicken out and you will shred it or cut it into whatever you like. If you like little pieces rather than shredding, then you do whatever it is that your family likes. Add that back to your pot and then add your noodles in. And I'll show you that step when it gets time to put the noodles in, and we'll have us a good supper for this evening.
Why don't you go back and see?
Okay guys, you can see that this is bubbled. The chicken is, well, my chicken was already canned and cooked, so it is ready for me to add the noodles to it. It's about 4 hours in, and so I'll put the noodles in, and then when we get done, I will bring you back and show you what it looks like at the end. Now you can use frozen noodles or you can use regular noodles. You can use not elbow noodles, but egg noodles. These happen to be noodles that I picked up at the Amish store. They say, the recipe says that it takes 2 hours for these noodles to cook, but in my experience it doesn't take 2 hours. So in an hour's time, I stir it a couple of times, and if the noodles are done, I call it good. I salt and pepper to our taste, and then they'll be ready. So when it's all said and done, I'll bring you back and show you what this chicken noodle soup looks like. This is what it ends up looking like. It's thick. It's not soupy. It's more like, it's kind of like chicken and dumplings, only with noodles instead of the dumplings. And we're going to enjoy that. Okay, so there you have it, chicken and noodles. It's a really simple dish, and just to tell you the truth, we were going to eat it for Saturday supper, but our company stayed late. We visited with them, and we had a good time visiting and talking and laughing and being with people we haven't got, my niece and her family that we haven't got to be with for a while, and so we foregoed Forgu. We didn't eat the chicken and noodles last night, but we're having it for Sunday dinner today. So this is what it ended up being. And it's really hot. I'll give it a little taste. And it's really good. I did add pepper to mine. Me and Blade both really like pepper, so we really peppered ours, and Cheyenne really salted hers. And I added just a smidge more butter. And try it, you guys. It's simple, it's inexpensive, it makes a lot, and it's good to have when you're in a hurry. You got lots to do that day, you're in a hurry, and it'll give you something good for supper. This is Josie, guys. As always, I love you. I really do. Until next time, we're gone.